Watching SA Tonight on ENCA. Political news now, and the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal has named Nomusa Ncube as its premier candidate. This follows Sihle resignation last week. The announcement was made during a press briefing earlier on today, and our senior reporter Siphamandla Goke has been tracking that story for us and joins us now for an update. So Siphamandla, it must have been the worst kept secret, the whole looming nomination of Nomusa Ncube for the position of premier to replace Sihle Zikalala. It's been speculated and known for the last few days. Finally, confirmation. What is the ANC saying are the reasons and the motivation and considerations behind nominating her?
Well, they say her experience, her credentials are solid, both politically and administratively. Let's recap and just give you a brief CV of Nomusa Ncube. She's the former speaker of eThekwini Metro, the only metro in KwaZulu-Natal. She is also the former COGTA MEC, former ETIA MEC, that is Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs. She's the current leader of government business in KwaZulu-Natal as she serves as the finance MEC in the province. So the ANC says, based on all those achievements administratively and in terms of governance, she's one of the senior deployees who qualifies to be nominated for this position. At a party level, she's a former Deputy Provincial Secretary of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, former Provincial Treasurer, and they say also those, qualifications enabled her to be able to be nominated. But let me tell you that it's been speculated for a number of years now. Since 2019, there has been speculation that at some point Nomusa Ncube was destined to become one of, or should I say, the first female premier of KwaZulu-Natal. When Senzo Mchunu departed, speculation was rife that Nomusa Ncube was going to take over from him. That did not happen. Sihle Zikalala came in, and many people were saying after Sihle Zikalala, Nomusa was set to take over as the premier of KwaZulu-Natal. So it has finally happened. The main reason that it was kept a closed secret, quote unquote, even though it was not a secret, it's simply because the interview process was on Saturday. The names of 3 candidates were submitted last week, I think Thursday or Friday, following the following the PEC meeting on Thursday. They submitted 3 names to the national officials of the ANC, and those 3 names were Nomusa Ncube, Mbali Fraser, who serves as the current chairperson of the Public Works Portfolio Committee in the legislature, as well as Amanda Pan, who's the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee responsible for sports, arts and culture. So it was given that in terms of seniority, or should I say, Nomusa Ncube was set to take the position of becoming the premier. So she's nominated for now. The process will have to go through to the provincial legislature. She will have to be formally nominated and elected by members of the provincial legislature, where the ANC is the majority party. But let's take a listen to what Peggy Mtolo, provincial secretary of the ANC, had to say about what it took for them to consider her.
Today, it is our great pleasure to announce to you Comrade Nomusa Ncube as the premier nominee. She is not new in the leadership position, as she previously served in various positions in the organization and in government. Born in KwaMashu, Comrade Nomusa Ncube is armed with a master's degree in public administration, and she currently pursuing a PhD in University of KwaZulu-Natal, in one of the world acclaimed university, which is one of the best in terms of research output. She served as the speaker of our metro, eThekwini Metro, before being assigned to the foreign mission as the ambassador to the Czech Republic. She was previously with the Department of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs as the member of the Executive Council for COGTA for 10 years. Comrade Nomusa Ncube currently serves as the MEC for Finance. As a liberation movement, we have rejected the notion that women get relegated to second-class citizens. In this leadership, you will understand that women comrades are not mere numbers.
So that's Peggy Mtolo, the ANC Provincial Secretary in KwaZulu-Natal, Siphamandla. Nomusa Ncube's comrades affectionately call her the game changer. How exactly is the ANC hoping she will change the game of governance in KwaZulu-Natal?
I guess it remains to be seen, simply because she has been part of the provincial executive. She's been part of those who've been governing KwaZulu-Natal. She was the MEC responsible for cooperative governance and traditional affairs for 2 terms. Some municipalities were struggling under her leadership. There were challenges there. As to how she plans to turn things around now in the province, we can only judge her based on her performance. But the ANC officials in the province are adamant that she would move with speed in terms of ensuring that, she leads the process of providing basic services to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. The issue of water provision has always been a challenge in the province. And when Nomusa Ncube was the MEC responsible for COGTA, there were service delivery protests. Many people were not happy with her department. Some municipalities were performing dismally, having to be placed under administration. Her late husband, well-known businessman Sbu Ncube, was accused of milking tenders under her department at the time. But of course, she says she's ready to hit the ground running. The chairperson of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal saying, well, the mandate is really simple: ensure provision of basic services, deal with the issue of unemployment and other issues. Let's take a listen to Siboniso Duma.
Comrade Nomusa will just hit the ground running, take it from that level, because we are one ANC, and her assignment in particular will just to ensure, address the issue of the imbalances of the past, create new growth, if possible, enlarging the scope of ITALA, because TALA should be licensed so that the issue of loans amongst our youth must access. I think these days, currently the banking sector is not driving a transformational agenda. Comrade Nomusa is also the embodiment of someone who could also drive the issue of unemployment. And in terms of women emancipation, I think she will strengthen that role. She will be able to work with Abo Mame Makaya, Emma Lokshin in urban stream, because characteristics she is able to understand and adapt clearly on what is required by the communities and address the issue of crime, the issue of women oppression. I think we've already highlighted through this statement, if you can just check her background.
So that's Siboniso Duma, the ANC KwaZulu-Natal chairperson, speaking earlier about the nomination by the party of Nomusa Ncube for the position of premier that has opened up since the resignation of Sihle Zikalala. Well, let's hear from the woman of the moment, from her speaking for herself, just reacting to her nomination.
I do accept the deployment by the ANC. And also wish to thank the trust that the ANC is giving to me to be able to lead a collective in government. I indeed going to be working with the ANC leadership as well as all my colleagues in government to ensure that we deal with the crippling issues that we are still facing in our province, those of dealing with the socio-economic challenges that we are facing, issues of unemployment that we are facing as a province.
All right, so many angles to that story, but unfortunately we have to leave it there. That's ENCA's Siphamandla Goke there, updating us about the ANC nominating Nomusa Ncube for the position of premier.